not everyone embraced this new realism. Although he'd started the trend, James Brown's lyrics were moving away from social commentary towards an even greater celebration of the rhythm. He was still as autocratic as ever, and by 1971, it was once again all too much for some of his musicians.
After we had left James, we really didn't know what the heck we were doing, what we were going to do, because like after 2 weeks, we ran out of money, and was like, okay, all right, Mr. Boots, since you're on it and everything, what we going to do now, So we were looking pretty crazy. And then we start doing gigs and, going to different towns, telling them, we the house guests, formerly James Brown Band.
While touring with James Brown, Bootsy had been impressed by the flamboyant English glam scene. Back in America, he put his own spin on it, thinking he'd cornered the market in outrageousness. But somebody else had already got there.
Kept hearing this thing about, man, y'all should see Funkadelic, because y'all look like Funkadelic. Y'all should play on the same stage with Funkadelic. Then they kept saying that to us. It's like, yeah, okay, where is Funkadelic? We want to get, we want to get on the stage with them. But yeah, who is Funkadelic? So we kept hearing this, everywhere we played. Y'all just missed Funkadelic. They was here last week.
Funkadelic was the brainchild of producer and musician George Clinton, and it was a world apart from James Brown. Clinton's mix of outrageous costumes and general silliness appealed to a younger generation of blacks. Eventually, Bootsy and George crossed paths.
Sure enough, George was sitting over in the corner, had his white sheet on, had his feet crossed, bare feet. He's sitting in his, what do you call that position?
Lotus position?
With his legs crossed and, that kind of thing. He's sitting there, had his head down. He's probably, he wasn't home up here. He was definitely not home. So, I think I probably wasn't home either, come to think of it. But, it was good, though, because as soon as I seen him, it was like love at first bite, right?
Bootsy was a big, silly dude that could play a gang of bass who had so much magnetism that, the spotlight could be on everybody else on the stage and none on him, but people would still be looking over trying to see who that is. When he was there, we knew that right from the beginning. And he had that rhythm and that vibe of James Brown that we were able to take and do what we knew from Motown.
It was in Detroit that ex-hairdresser George Clinton had originally started in the music business when he'd recorded for Motown with his group, The Parliaments, back in the 60s.
So we'd come to Detroit, trying to be like the Temptations, and we were singing a doo-wop group, and we thought we was cool and everything. We came out here, we found out they had about 10 cool groups in a line waiting.
Clinton turned for inspiration to an unexpected source.
We learned that from being on the road, it was always with some pop, psychedelic band or rock and roll band. We knew the main thing about that music was the amplifiers. And we went and bought all the Marshalls in the world. Some of the black bands with Marshall. We go to a show with Marshalls and they have Shure PAs, the little silver columns, and our amps was louder than the whole PA system. So we would pantomime, and we still wouldn't turn down. We played loud as hell. And then we realized that we didn't have no competition. We went out and got us some robes, and that was a good way to get rid of the suits because we couldn't keep them clean. Ties couldn't keep them clean. So we started being funky.
P-Funk, number one, was fun. When I say fun, I mean the cartoon names, very elaborate stage show, it was sci-fi. There were no real black cartoons. There were no real black sci-fi movies. And in a lot of ways, P-Funk represented all of that. And it definitely was an avant-garde move to be down with Funkadelic.
Y'all ready to give up the funk?
Bootsy brought the missing ingredient for Clinton's mix of cross-cultural hedonism to really take off.
Don't y'all sing it, baby. like you mean it. Sing! 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 Sing!
He taught me that rhythm, you know, that the one. He came with all the James Brown theories, and I crammed them, and I kept them too. On the one. Now let's haul off in one.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and you hit on the one. You know, 1. You know. You know, and that's the funk. You know. You know, and there you go. You got your basic funk formula there. You know, you can do anything you want to do with it, you know?
Hey, Rockumentary! Hey, Rockumentary!
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. And then when everything is on the one, the line, everybody played the same. It's bigger when everybody played.
P-Funk would stay on the one, I mean, so hard and heavy and never move. They just drove that thing into your subconscious. And by the time you realized what was happening, you was hooked.
Bernie would take that and add all these different colors to it, you know. And I think between that and George would come to the table with these vocal ideas that he heard. And I think with all that mixture there, those were the three ingredients that was like...
For the stew.
It was the what?
For the stew. For the funkin' stew.
The funkin' stew, yeah. That's what I was trying to say.
Everybody sing the song right here. Everybody sing the song. If you're here, it ain't noise. It's just me and the boy. Give me a little more foot up here.
I had been pretty closed-minded about anything that was really groundbreaking. I was so into James Brownology. And when I saw P-Funk, because Bootsy was in the band and didn't understand the thing they were doing, I mean, it was obviously captivating and people were getting off and it was very evident something was going on here. There were people into this cult that left me behind.
You go to the Apollo Theater, most of the artists were in, like the Temptations, mohair suits, ice cream colors. So the funk bands had fur and all this other stuff and half their head shaved and mohawks, and that was just different.
Put a glide in your stride, a dip in your hip, and come on to the mothership. Doing the loose booty. Give me a little more foot up here.
We were too black for the white folks, and too white for black folks, which I mean, we were too loud when we played in the black clubs, and you know, hit on those costumes and things.
We had to go straight for the underground, straight from the street to the people. And the people was the ones that say, yay. These boys here, yay.
George had a way of using everybody's attitude and everybody's energy, which he led it. Like James gave the music permission to go different ways. George gave the language, the lyrics, everything permission to go wherever.
Put your hands together out there. We gonna say we can't get the mothership in here tonight. Come on.
Most white people, when you listen to their music, it's, you know, they would rather turn up the treble, whereas black people turn up the bass.
Behind the exuberant facade, the funk groups were having some problems.
The music industry is not separate and distinct from the things that are going on in the community. I mean, there was forced busing, there was affirmative action. All these things were making some resistance to black music and black people in general.
In order to get airplay on white radio stations, many of the bands developed a lighter, more melodic sound. Even then, they still met resistance.
The formatting of radio changed, become much more conservative in terms of what they would play of different kinds of music. And so funk, to a great degree, was not really heard for the most part by the mass audiences.